Hello, my U-Turn family. Welcome to the U-Turn Show. If you are new, this is a platform for empowering our communities through impactful conversations, real life stories, and resources for youth and women. Every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we gather here to spotlight voices that challenge limits and those that reminds us that real change begins the moment we choose to turn in a new direction, to make a U-turn. So, if you are navigating change in your life, looking for clarity, or building the next big thing, you belong here. So, share this conversation and stick with us as we begin the real talk, real growth, real U turn. I don't know why I'm starting to laugh, but anyway, for those who have joined us, thank you so much. We're supposed to host the chair lady of Nyanchitari Arbe today, but we were not able to do that because of internet or technical issues. So we have decided to do analysis on the debate that has been trending for the last almost 3 weeks. The educated versus the uneducated wife. I don't know. Please share the conversation because it will be lit. We will provide analysis from both perspectives and uh, let us know what are your thoughts. If you want to join us to provide your 1 cent, please we will share the link with you. So share this conversation widely and stick around with us. The topic that we're debating or we are providing analysis on is the educated versus uneducated white debate. We want to provide a U-turn on how we define women worth, partnership values, and power within marriage. So those are our key anchors of this conversation. If conversation go left, right, south, east, the core is how do we define what? How do we define partnership? How do we define power in this societal coexistence? So before we actually dive into this debate, I want us to begin with where did this conversation even begin? Who started it? Before we can now go into how it is going, where it is going, and all the emotions that are coming along with it. So I want to maybe give a chance to one U10 fellow. I'm joined with two U10 fellows here. More will join. Luca is here. Alakiri is here. Why can't we start with men? Because about women, I want I think this debate should be about men, but it is about women too. So, Luca, can you take this platform and tell us exactly from your understanding who started this debate, why did they started it, and where it's going, and then we will begin from there. So, take it away.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Kwalfili, and also to Madam Alakir, and to our viewers in the U10. I really appreciate you guys. You have been following us, and we have been sharing ideas together. Due to our guest of today, maybe she's committed somewhere, and there's no need of even focusing on that part again, as the topic is already here. What I can comment on it to those viewers who will be sharing later their views, I think on my own understanding, the reason why this debate has gone viral like that, it first came out from the chair lady of Ural West County Women Association. That chair lady she was not even asking women about the educated women and uneducated women, or educated ladies and uneducated ladies. Her concern was about the educated men who left educated ladies here in town and go back to villages to go and marry uneducated one. What was the reason why you guys leave those educated ladies in town, those who went to school with you together in primary, you start together, you went to secondary school together, you even finished university together, and you guys leave them in the town, and then you came back here in the villages to come and marry uneducated one. What is the reason? What are the challenges that stop you from marrying from those who are educated, and then you decide to come and marry an uneducated one? Who do you think, as a man, as a one who is educated, Who do you think that will marry uneducated educated one that you live in town? Our sisters, our daughters, our everything that you live in town. Who do you think that will take them? If you choose as people from Lagos State or even from Rural West here, why do you choose to do that one? I think this woman raised a question concerning men. She was not asking about the educated ladies and uneducated ladies. But since the debate shifted to be about educated ladies and uneducated one, I think that's why the debate has taken long now for almost 2 to 3 weeks. People have been debating about it, and they did not go back to the source to ask that chair lady for Euro West County Women Association. So since you have raised it here in on the U10, Madam Akwal Philip, as the topic for today, I think I will also comment on it. But I first, this is where the debate come from. I first stop from here and give you chance to continue.
Okay, thank you. Please stop there. Just stop there for a moment. Get yourself some water. So you guys have heard where the debate started. So it was a woman who started this debate, and she was asking men. Huh? Okay. So the question was going to men who leave their educated counterparts and go and marry in the villages an educated one. And then now something happened. Instead of men answering, okay, some men actually answered. They say their own thing. We will talk about them later. But now something ended up shifting. It become now educated women against educated, uneducated women now fighting themselves. I'm like, "Here, what happened? How did this conversation now? It was going to men, like asking men, please explain. And then instead of men explaining to women, it become now women against women. What happened? Take it, Alaki. Let us know before we get deep.
Okay, normally I stay away from married people business, but because the conversation has shifted to be, attacking educated women, and like Luca painted the story, it wasn't about women or about education. It was about men, decision making, and who they value as a partner and as a wife. So clearly, men need to come to the front and explain the decision making process, because, like that woman, I really want to understand where are you coming from when you finish your master's, undergrad, PhD, and the first thing that comes to your mind is like, let me go to the village and marry this girl that I have no idea who they are, how they were raised, etc. But the debate being made about women being educated or not is leaving out the only thing we have data on, which is the age gap. The age gap of men and women, especially the men that leave the city or the town to go marry from the village. They clearly want to marry someone young. That's why they leave the town. Because when a woman naturally goes to school, they'll spend a lot of time in school. And on top of other things, they have experience. And I'm not like, how do you say it? I'm not discriminating what kind of experience they have learned. Naturally, when somebody live a long life, they will experience certain things. But now it's being weaponized against women, as the debate has been going about educated women are, they don't respect men, they, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what kind of things they'll be explaining. But I'm saying this has nothing to do about women or education per se. And if we break down what education mean in this context, education, I want to say that the women, whether they went to formal education, they've always been educated on what they need to do, who they need to embody to be a good wife. What I don't know if it's being done or not is men being educated on how or who or what to do to be a good husband and be a good father. So whether a girl has gone to school or not, we've seen marriages working out or failing. I don't think that is the factor of having a good relationship or having a good marriage, having a good mother to your children, and having a good partner. But yeah, if you are watching and you are a man, you are educated, please let us know. We will send you the link to come and explain. And especially if you have gone back to the village and married someone significantly younger than you, come to the front and explain your decision making process, because we will try to stay open minded about these things.
All right, you are an educated lady, Halakir, and you are not even married. So I really like how you frame that. So I want us to actually get to the bottom of it. Now that we have understood, this topic was mainly for men to explain themselves why they leave educated women. It's almost close to the topic we discussed earlier about empowered women, but there is something fundamentally different between education and empowerment. The U10 platform is an empowerment platform. We don't talk a lot about education that much because you can be empowered in a different way, whether through education or through other means. So you have, or it started a little bit, Alakir, defining what educated really meant, a little bit. But I want to go back to Luca before Chol Mayula. Welcome. Before going to Chol Mayula, to really just kind of set the tone first. What does this educated really mean? Because there might be some men who are in town, but they might not be really educated. I don't know. Just like there might be women who are like who masquerade as educated, but they might not be educated. So look at, before we actually get deep into this debate or analysis of this debate, what does educated really mean to you, or uneducated really mean to you personally? And to Bajala deep talk a little bit, does education, that in quotes, whatever education that you will say later on, does it improve relationship, or is it even irrelevant in terms of relationship? Take it away. Luca, are you there?
Yeah, network is a bit not okay, but I got the concept, the point that you were trying to ask concerning education. Like, to on my own views as individual, uh, according to my own understanding, education does not only focus on the part of knowing how to read and write. That is not all about education. But education is whereby you go beyond that. You understand different communities. You also understand. You also acquire a new skill that you have not been through before, because some of the things you cannot learn them at your community level. But if you engage in education background, in education places, you can learn a new skill. You can also get connected to learn new cultures. You can also get connected to learn a lot of the things. That is whereby me personally, I don't term education like to be only knowing how to read and write, or how to speak fluent English or Arabic, for the sake of those who went to school in Arabic background or in Arab world. No, that is not all about. Education goes further by giving you to know more skill, and also to link up with the different cultures, and to learn new things about the world. And this whereby now the debate that people have taken to be about educated lady and uneducated lady, I did not even me personally take side to either defend the educated ladies or to defend uneducated one. But to be sincere, educated ladies can win this debate, because mostly those who think that educated ladies are not good, they are just generalizing the situation when someone find one of the lady who is already educated but having bad manners or bad characters. Now he's taking all the other educated ladies to be worse or to be dangerous to the society. This one, I think, it is misunderstanding from our people. Don't be prejudging. Don't take, like, when you find one bad person, you want to generalize all because of that bad person. No. Try to go for analysis and find out how are they acting differently, because mostly not all the educated ladies are dangerous to the society or to the community. And most of the ladies, like what our people normally put in their mind, they say some are not respectful, others are not understandable. This is not the case. Even like to say when you try to influence they don't remain submissive, and they don't add up. They don't listen to your views or your values. That's not all about it. You have to sit down together and put the principle together, share the ideas, and if she accepts that you have a vision and you will grow together, she cannot deny you to marry her, even if you are not even educated.
Okay. Oh, all right.
So I do see here our people are just prejudging concerning the educated ladies with the uneducated one. But some of the people who are open-minded and want to learn more and want to understand, they don't take side to defend uneducated one. Like what one of the people put as a principle, why the educated men, like to me as educated one, I go back to married uneducated one in village. People to say it is because the one from village is submissive and is respectful. I can say this is not true. That's not the reason why you go back to the village to go and marry an educated one and leave the educated one. Because even educated one are too respectful and they are submissive, and most of them are understandable people than those who are even in village, because they can be a part of decision making. Educated lady can be a part of decision making. If you marry educated lady and you stay together in town, if things did not goes well and you sit together with her, she can give you a right suggestion on what you can do as a family to raise up your kid in a better way than to leave you alone to struggle as individual. But uneducated one, they cannot manage to give you a better decision when they are here in town with you. I think this is not the case. People used to say it is because they are not respectful, they are not submissive. That one is not the case. The other thing that I have even went and found out that it is the one of the thing that took most of the guys from marrying an educated lady, and then they go back to go and marry an uneducated one. It is because educated ladies, some of them, they apply Western culture, and that is for a Dinka man or someone who has grown up in the cultures within the cultures of South Sudan. They cannot accept to remain with only one wife. Even to me on that part, I agree. It is 100%. If I date a lady who is educated, and she later on say, if you want to marry me, I must be the one, and for all monogamy, I will tell her that it is better for us to close up this relationship, and then you go and look for a new person. Me, I have to be straightforward on that part. So coming to the next point also, which take people mostly to go and marry the uneducated one. Some people raise a concern asking about some of the educated ladies. They don't want you to bring your family members to be with you in the same house. And this one, I have seen it. I have experienced it several times. There is one of my family members who was having a educated lady as a wife. Now that lady don't want people to be with her at home in the house where she is living with her husband, which is not good. This thing can push some of the educated men to go and marry from village, so that they should come and stay together with their wife or their relative together or their family members. Some of the things are controversial, but there are some of the points which are true or concerning this debate. But the debate was not about educated ladies and uneducated one. That is what I have to comment on it. It was about the educated men who leave educated ladies and then they go back to married uneducated one in village. Why? What is the reason?
Thank you. Thank you for always bringing that up. The debate was not about women versus women, like educated and educated women
Yeah,
can educate. It was about educated men and educated women. And
yeah.
the uneducated women take out collateral or collateral damage in this.
Mm.
Thank you for that perspective.
Uh,
Quite interesting. So look at Sierra's perspective on what education means and some of the reason cannot think pan monja. And one of the points I think he liked himself according to thing when find where and so if
yeah,
you educated are not open to bring all the community to, to the house, then it's a good reason to go to the village to get a village woman who will accommodate all the relative and everybody and grandma and everyone. And other reason, well, about polygamy. So if educated women are not into polygamy, then they will get someone who will accept the polygamy. Of course, there are other reasons, and someone was in the comments saying educated women are a shower. So I don't know where, where did he get that information? And I know from stories Kapan Monjang about no Konywood, so there could be a Konywood in educated and a Konywood in the village who is not very educated and doing all the same thing. So I don't know what that means. But we will get there. Let me hear perspective, Chol Mayula. I saw Dorcas at Benton. So, Chol Mayula, can you take us through your thought process on this topic? What does educated woman really mean from this conversation, and where do you stand? You ping from your circle, why are they doing what they are doing, or what are some of the answers? Can look at a touch that you can add, so you can unmute yourself and you start take it away.
All right. Thank you, Akwal, and everyone who is watching. The debate has been going on, and it is a good start. At the community level, educated women are viewed not only as women. That's what I want to say. Educated woman with a character, its wife material, is not viewed just as a woman. Is viewed as one of the men's, even though we don't say it. This is the recent things I've discovered, and there is a marriage that was going on, and Rantik was someone getting educated. So it was told Manadage in uncle, okay, our uncles don't approach this woman like our normal woman. They think pure, and so to me, to
I
be
don't know.
educated.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes,
Our
yes, you are
community
back.
have accepted that women should be educated. Women should go to school, read and write. That's they should be educated. On the other aspects, in is how some of the few individuals, how they are portrayed, period and that make others to turn away. But the reality is that people need educated women. That's the facts. So Cairo Jabla Loiban Aja fears the individuals. But at the society is appreciating that women have gone to school, they have become leaders, they are also being recognized in most of crucial decision making. So Tangan kok yuka jala lwele ban I are part of individuals yung lokana nga ko yung hindi kana nga. So I think we have more guests, so inget ban ko tinikana. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you for that perspective. I like that individual part because I think a lot of comments or our experiences you could share, sometimes some are personal. And then we try to impose it by generalizing it on others. So really coming clear about what is personal to you and what is really collective to us, differentiating that is really important. Alakir, in your chance, what does education really mean? Is it formal education? Is it life experience? Like, and does it really matter? Like, and I know I want you to approach it from perspective then Wesley. We have discussed this before on this U10 platform about men. So it's the same question in a different context. So about men living women here in the West, either educated or not, but say empowered women here, women who are independent. They are leaving them here to go to marry dependent women big we were better mom. They would make them all the process to be here when they can get someone here that will not go all the way. They will cross all oceans to leave that. Why? So what does that mean? Is this about education really? Is it about empowerment? Where Rwanda, I think yes, yeah, I empowered, kind of independence. So you want to back around when whom you can control and use finance as a tool to control them, or use ignorance because you know background here, they don't even know there is a war in Iran. So anyway, take it away. What is education and why does this even matter? And also why young women are like Jordan car with it anywhere when it was a man to women conversation. Take it away.
Right. So to first define what education means, education, the way I understand it from this debate, is going to a formal institution and learning how to read, write, and all that. But the end goal of education, both informal and formal, are two different, right? The end goal for education, informal, when we were brought up, any woman in the comment knows, or any woman here on the screen knows, at a young age you've been told, if you keep doing that, yin chi bitiak bi ja tiak di ke yin ila memale ki kin chi chok wala. So that is part of education, of equipping a woman to be successful in marriage, right? And those lessons and those learning include one thing, which is clashing in a formal education. In the house, self-expression is, I don't think it's emphasized for a woman to express themselves, to explain when they are uncomfortable with a situation. And I'll say situation to look at well of bringing all the relative to stay in your household. In Pandun, you are brought up to endure it. If it's uncomfortable, you act like it doesn't affect you. Think like to be. Yani, she's always smiling, even though people around her know she's uncomfortable with the situation of relatives in her house. So the ones that have gone through formal education are taught, among other things, the end goal is to be able to be economically empowered. That is from my background. People don't come from a lot of fortune. Is to be economically empowered and to have ability to work and earn income. But along the way, you learn other skills like problem solving skills, self expression, communication is key. For you to show up at the workplace and express yourself and skills and be able to execute work, you need to be able to talk. And that talking includes everything. Whether things are not working out, you have to express and give feedback. Now, when educated women bring all the skills and experience they've learned into the household, the dynamic has changed, right? Their mindset have shifted. Um, and for education on the side of men, I don't think much changes. From my perspective, I don't think a lot of informal education goes into how men can prepare to be a good husband. And if you have that experience, please explain it to me how it was done. I know there is some sort of initiation. I know there is some sort of expectation for women to cater to you. You should not go and be the one serving yourself food. All the women around you should cater to you. So already the system worked for the man. So even college, you will come back with the same expectation in the house, um, as compared to Nyantila's college. So that is why education fundamentally changes women in this culture, and it doesn't change men. I could be my personal experience, but I'm a little bit took whatever degree, whatever, but compartmentalize their education that it doesn't apply in their household. Now, big partner, they're the head of the house, they want to be respected, make final decision, while the woman has gone to the same class. So in the house, Nabikubai, for example, when we go to school when I was younger, we come back home. You drop your bag, you go and help prepare dinner. The boys will drop their bags and start playing soccer. Soccer has no skills that can help in the household. I am actively learning skills to help in the household. Correct? So and if this dynamic change, it can be very shocking to men, which is I completely understand. And the reaction they go to is to just go and marry the girl that has been educated just enough to run their household without challenging their decision making, their position, whatever that needs to be decided in the house. That woman will most likely not challenge it, right? So that's my understanding. You don't necessarily have to agree with it, but that's where I'm coming from. Why I say this topic is not for women against women or women against men is because the man here is the one failing to adapt to the realities of our time, right? And when I say realities of our time is in this time, it requires a different level of relating to others in a relationship or in a marriage to be able to, I don't know, succeed, depending on what you define success is. So, what I'm thinking is women are being punished, right? For attaining some level of self-sufficiency, being able to earn their own income, being able to use their voice even if it's uncomfortable to the men. And that reaction is okay, you know what, since you think you are so educated and know it all, well, go figure it out. I'm gonna marry someone from the village. Now, it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm completely fine with either marriage or not being married. The young girls that we are empowering, though, to go to school, what are we teaching them? What exactly are we telling them about their education that it makes you less of a woman? That's exactly the explicit idea in this conversation is if you go to school, you are less of a woman. And you will see it every day around you. Your uncle is coming from America to marry. He goes and marries somebody who's has the lowest level of education. And even those around you, your babadu or your wanmouth, will be recommending a woman that has not gone to school. So if you don't you see yourself being valued in this society, that can be alienating, right? And that can be very lonely as a woman who want to empower themselves, go to school. So I tell you, and you are actively encouraging other men to go marry those who have not gone to formal education. My question is, are you expecting them to be lesbian and marry themselves? Or what exactly do you think happened to these educated girls? In the long run, what exactly should they do?
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. What I'm hearing is that, Alakiri, you have dissected really well. So you said that, for sure, education, like formal education. So in formal education, everyone is educated. Even the folks we say uneducated are educated in informal way. Because what they are seeing is mati chok, walai waka patch, we rot, yang abitia, think chechi, luya da, or a tiaki. So at home, women are prepared to be wives. So if that is informally, now there is this additional education, short formal education. Which of course a character a build, and some of the lessons you can learn, you can apply them in all aspects of your life, in your relationships, in your career, in your personal growth and spiritual growth. Formal educational aspect, your character is shaped in different way. Non-rural, so rural also get informal education. And when they get formal education, you say that this formal education doesn't necessarily change them fundamentally, but it actually shapes women in a more significant way. How young women get is that a woman I can then other aspect like independence, which is might be a problem in this when there is like power and control in the relationship. Arabian voice now, but they cannot do you bullshit, can you respond? We cannot make decision on his own, but he's surprised with a new wife when you have a voice, right? Kubara will pretend that this is good in think what you don't want to react to it. So you will have a point, you will have also resources to remove yourself in that relationship. It will become an issue, right? So this actually change women. And this threaten the traditional norms, right? And that might be, from your perspective, in Alaki, that might be the reason why men who want like stability in quotes so that they are in control and do all the things they want to do, to go to marry someone who is educated in formal way, but I can perspective that baby again, I can history Kenya baby I can history Pindom baby I can they cannot go and work in office abroad or mingle with other men in a different space. So you have someone who can bend up to my go in the community go one. That is it. So you thought this debate is actually about power and control. And that's what I'm hearing. So I don't know, but before I give the mic to Dorcas, I did one point about where the respond is that I agree with part of what you said in Alakir. And for those who are in the comment section, thank you so much. Your engagement, your comment, I'm seeing them. We are putting them here. You are actually contributing to this discussion more. Thank you. And you ask your question, provide your perspective on this, and share the message because maybe it will open up more conversation about this because Alakir actually raised a very important point that what message are we sending young girls when we come and paint education in a negative way, or when we set women up to be a debate when it should be like a conversation between men and women and to align and society in general to really encourage education because education now a part of empowerment tool. It's not entirely empowering, but a one tool that can actually take you to the next level. And in the context of our people who are South Sudanese, who are ever, displacement affecting us, floods, wars, insecurity, education is the only tool right now that can advance us economically, to progress. I said education changed my life. And I remember when I, got the grades to come to Canada through scholarship, my close family member actually advised me, you know what, Rhoda, don't go to America. Yeah, I can think is spoiled and I can get here. So if you go there, you actually jeopardizing your future of being a married woman. If you see marriage, a pathway, which it's a big thing. So that question was raised. So to validate your point, like that na chano be baka chambena air babri to kalwala okay yin chila joke America. And stories are created about the America and babena air kalo wala chila lui move in ken moinde ken la yaka waja. So now stories are rooted in the villages and in the communities that okay yin chila yaka waja you are doing bad things, nasty things. So that actually young women who are ambitious who want to go to the world, you are expected to buy them jari in the village, in the neighborhood, because a lot outside that known environment, you are out of control. And that means it discourages empowerment. Barur can go everywhere they want. Because as if you're going to happen only now they are without or involved. Anyway, that is a question of another day, but that's what I'm hearing. So my question to you in Dorcas, but we contribute to this is, what does education really mean? And do you think our society is more threatened by educated women? And what does that mean to young girls that are, navigating this society? Take it away, Dorcas, if you are there. Hello, Dorcas, are you there? If not, Luca, you can take it away while Dorcas figure the mic out. I don't know if she's talking and she's mute. Okay, she's on mute now. Hello, is my connection, Chiriak, or am I still there? Luca, can you hear me?
I'm getting you. Only that Dorcas, I don't know, Dorcas, maybe she's a bit busy on another call.
Okay, then take it away. So the question was, Do you think society is more threatened by educated women than academic? And what can it be? What can we do in order to continue advocating for girl child education empowerment?
Well, thank you for that, Madam Paul Philip. And to my own understanding, I think the society is not more threatened by educated women. Nothing like they are educated women are dangerous to the society or they are threat to the society or to the community at large. To my own understanding, for those who think educated women are threat to the society are the one that are giving themselves a dangerous side. Because when we talk about girl education, it is supposed for all girls to go to school. So do we expect them to go to school to become a dangerous to the society again? No, that one cannot prove that they can become a dangerous to the society. But concerning the point that my sister raised before, that if those educated ladies are to be abandoned, are they supposed to marry themselves to be lesbian and whatever? Oh, that is not the case. Here, what make thing to be very complicated? I see many people took it like it is we educated men are abandoning our educated ladies, and that is not the case. The reason why some men run away to go and choose to marry from villages or to marry an educated one, it is because of what you have talked about. Since no, to me, I don't want my wife to say that is to live independently, like to marry a lady who want to live as independent. That's not good, and that's not going to be okay. Even in the Western world, if the reason why it is in that way now, that's why there are a lot of problem now. Even to me, on my own understanding, there are a lot of problem now. That's why there is lesbian, there is LGBTQ, and there are so many things going on in Western world. It is because the women were allowed to be independent, even in decision making. They like to marry one man and they stop from there. If you decide to bring another one, it will become a problem. Concerning the statistic, let me take you back to the world statistic. We have more than 7.8 billion, right? 7 point something, and 5 point something are all women. 5.2 or 5.4 billion are women, meaning the other remaining one is less than, if we are to divide it, each one should go with only one. The rest will remain, and they will form what my sister said before, what Alakir said before, that lesbian and all other things. And this is not good based on our cultures as South Sudanese, or let me talk as Dinka man. Uh, Actually, liberal like could le la kaya be tem, but we are really independent. Ko jaka together. Again, man. Like, why should I marry that lady who want to live independently? Like, if she want to go to US or to want to go to Kenya, and I tell her you cannot go there, she have to go. Which means that there's no need of me marrying that lady. And those are the things that push most of the educated men to go and marry from village, not because to come and control them 100%, but to live together as family, to live together as partners. You cannot be a partner and then at the same time your partner is saying that he can go to this place and you have not comment on it, and then she have to do it like that. Yeah, you can a big thing, a terrible, and it is dangerous. And that's one of the things push those men away from marrying educated ladies. Concerning this issue of threat to the society, there's nothing that make them to be threat. If there is respect and people are cooperating together and there is good understanding among each other, there's nothing like for educated ladies to be threat. No, nothing like that. But seeing educated ladies are the ones showing the image which will not make men to cooperate with them, to give them empowerment that we always talk about. Then from here, I think there will be no way that we can empower women again if we are to empower them, and later on they become independent from us. We should work together and support each other.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, put a man there if you agree with look at that. Making women independent might make them independent from men. And we don't want that. You want? Does that make sense? Is that so? That means, okay, I just want to ask in another question. Look at before ban migrant
Mm,
does empowerment or education,
mm,
come with fear of either fear of equality, being independent, could you think we're independent, or a loss of control? You don't want them to be independent, so they might become
yeah.
independent from men. So is it more about, you don't want to have not when I say you, is not you personally talking you, but generally men as men. So
Mm.
does it mean that when women become educated and fully independent, do you fear that we are equal partners, or are you afraid that also a loss of control, and if going to village you will get someone who is easy to control? What are you
No,
really saying from men perspective?
uh, here my comment is on the not on the control. I don't want even to control my educated wife,
Mm-hmm.
but or educated woman. But I don't. It is not good for my educated woman to be independent to the extent of having almost 70% of all the things she can do without sharing views with me. That is what I'm. That's where I talk about. My phone is on that part because if you know yourself, you are my wife. And you have the thing that you want to do. You need to also to let me know, not to do them as independent. And when you update me on it, and I also disagree on that part, you have to accept. You cannot say, me, I want to do this, and if you don't want, I have to do it because I have my own resource. I can do it with my own resource. That. This one shown that there is no respect here, and there's no cooperation or there's no partnership here. This is what I'm talking about, not to control my educated woman.
All right. So then, do you really believe that education will make women not to actually do cooperate, because you're talking about women when have financial depend, not cooperating because they have money, they can do whatever they want? Because why I'm asking this question is, I know you when you started earlier on, you said actually it's easy being educated, be understanding, because they have exposure, they have understanding of a lot of challenges, or even the future you want to create as a man, like when it comes to relationship and partnership. So someone who has a vision or who have exposure or understanding of things, it is easy for that person to sit with you and discuss the pros and cons of the situation and come to alignment. Then Ran Panjing, who doesn't even understand what it means to balance the shit, right? You are doing your monthly financial reconciliation, or you are doing your financial plan for the next 10 years as a family. People will sit down and look at the thing, and you can discuss and make decision. Or you can increase or led to a private school. Like, why is education become now is hard to control someone? So I just want to separate that issue. It's just a question of morality and education. Many people or many men to comment on this debate think that educated women are immoral. They have gone through university and they have had like multiple partners, so they are spoiled. Another, and you go to a village, you can get a virgin girl like 15-year-old or 10-year-old, so for those who want young women, then category use. So that's the picture we can share. I don't believe that education actually make people immoral. I am educated. I've been through all the process from undergrad to masters before Benathia, and that does not make me immoral. So education morality can be different, and you are used even in the village by village boys, even worse than even this one, because in Quickloy. But here you understand, when you go through education, you know there is HIV/AIDS, there is syphilis, there are STIs. I can learn from grade 6. And I don't think those conversations if you happen for one. So even educated, men and women will be more afraid to do all these bad things because they know the consequences. So that is a question of morality and character. It has nothing to do with education. And so I said that there are two main things. So also this is a man perspective because this was a question to men. There are two things involved. The reason why, is that about old age. When the girl is in school take time. You will be like considered old. Then kilo school you just a green 15-year-old or 18-year-old, you can get a teenager, right? Because a kid school so you can marry. But someone in school, they'll need to finish the undergrad. By the time they finish the undergrad, they're already in their 20s. If they do go for masters, color mid-20s to early 30s. So that is old age. Another thing is financial independence. So job is hard to control. So those are two main reasons. Do you agree with this? Or do you think there are more to that? And Dorcas, unmute yourself and jump in if not might should not improve, otherwise we'll go the mic to Chol Mayola.
Okay. Thank you for that. But on my own views, I think the man who disagree on that one, like to leave educated lady because he is financially free, is not the man who want to have educated woman in the first place. If you want to have educated woman in the first place and to build a strong family, you cannot fear to marry a educated lady who is more financially free or financially stable. That's not the case. Any man who do that one is out of his mind and is not focusing on the thing that he want to achieve in future. But coming to the point of immorality, I think educated ladies are more respectful than uneducated one, and they understand. They understand how to respect themselves, and they don't engage in the thing that uneducated ladies are doing nowadays. Even like let me give example. Those who do videos, you cannot find an educated lady doing such a thing. Most of the ladies who are doing it now are the school dropout, those who finish primer 7, primer 8, or those who have not even went to school. They are the one doing those things. And we cannot tell that this is because they are educated. When you have a smartphone or you manage to post on Facebook or you manage to type and to read and write, doesn't prove that you are educated. So these people in villages generalize all that the ladies who are doing this are the ones who are educated and living in town. So on that part, I don't agree on that one. Education has changed a lot of the ladies, and those educated ladies cannot do such a thing. They respect themselves because they don't want STDs and STI. They don't want those diseases to get into their body. So for this guy who don't want a lady who is 30 years or 31 or who have spent like school, if you have to have a degree like here in South Sudan and you are a lady, even if you go to school when you are 4 years, you will graduate after you finish 25 or 27. And this one now cannot make people to run away from you that you are in the old age. No, because having educated lady is even better. I can prove that one because the children that you will raise together with educated lady will be more educated than the children that you will raise with uneducated one. Because there are something that you will do, a woman can do alone when you are not there at home if she is educated. But for you to marry an educated one, even the homework target, and then you come and do it at the same time. Maybe you come late from work. So this thing, I don't agree on that part. For those who fear financially stable ladies, they don't want to marry educated woman. That is the fact.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you for that. Chol Mayola, anything to add on? Look at before one of the one on here.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, society is threatened by education. Education in society threatened. Society is seeing that norms for will go away. If the chain water if we don't maintain the culture values. When get to where you are, what they are a little bit. So to be honest, men are more conservative than women, and that angle in go watch math. Education they are more of the aiga par that we learn, but for us we learn with a reservation. So it an get thin watch, it thin watch. So for us to man road, a society believe that it do I don't and it is true because Abi we have not done this. What can loy? Let's first do this. Let's first do this. And by mentioning all those things, maybe you the one even a kid love only graduate by that time. So one expect, yeah, it is good, but it is also a threat to a society. So Tatangan, who are error, we need to empower. By the way, the only things that really push women empowerment. Let me just say that one. That's the best reason you so that you empower your woman and if you then your kids will be,
Imagine.
yeah, but otherwise it would be very hard for women to be empowered. So anyway, let me just stop from there.
Actually, I like honest men, and I think you're very honest here. So, that actually, and this answer this question, why is women education even debated in marriage, but not men education, right? From the beginning, it's because men education doesn't change them. So it just makes them maybe get more money, because of job, or they still remain men regardless. And you more bored. I think I more bored after school, and that is I don't know what that means. And and that's what Luke has been saying in a polite way. Is that is that men are conservative. So they would really they want a traditional wife, a woman who is submissive, whom they can control, who can listen to all their goal and objective. And the only reason why they want a woman to be independent and having a mind of her own, because independent ethic belong a mind of their own. Actually, a mind much. It's not man's brain. They use their own brain to make decision, to decide whether this is good or not good. Is this good for now or is good for future, and can convene more? For example, Chichol Mayulaga. So the reason Chichol, and this is deep, that there is an actual man now, especially men in the contact jam and thin men community, is that no when you think that they no look you can do empowered such that if he dies, getting they can take charge, continue taken advantage of and who meet can move independently. But if not, can Rio it can be in control until the end of their marriage, right? That is the same thing for reason for some men in can you can tell sukuli maybe I could be do in case, right, Bloma. So you learn just not because you want to be independent, but they just emergency in can let ya monchi rollo get you better do you can be bad dependent on it at your own old age or be dependent on. So that is the fear I'm hearing. I don't know. What is your reaction to that? I can hear your voice. Do you want to react before I take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're being Okay, hi everyone. And by the way, this debate, honestly, I've tried to just watch, just watch and see how people are doing it. And I remember I just shared someone posted about it. Okay, for me, I will not just try to define what is education, pomo and pomo because I chico jiga chigulwe. But you see, well, like what surprised me is how men are trying to divide us, women in South Sudan, right? This is division, by the way, and this is they're trying to make us go against each other. Yen kita ngim. Chana chuku are divided, we shall not really turn up and stand up for each for us. Who can it, like according to me, it is just the reality of social life in South Sudan. Huh? Social life and how we consider women in our life, right? So and honestly, if you think deeply, can be diar ke bika loom ke ka diar te ki diar ke. Ku diar te ke against each other anong inyan ku anong imura anong inga. Like all of us, most of our mothers are actually educated, right? And let me say, to be honest, for me, I see that keche ke ridiculous school opportunity ke liu. Opportunity yen ke liu. And let me say, let me say that was the life at that time. Yen ke life at that time, right? Kwachi aga to be I can get you in our time now because be in our time and they stay. I don't think they can do that. Again today in South Sudan right now as we talk, the girls that are not going to school right now, it's their choice. It is not the choice. Because the generation life that they are in, a generation life whereby jam, kine men nya, women which like I think really want to come to life, but people baloy. So those girls, let me say, in the villages today that are not having the chance to go to school, it is not their choice. And trust me, if I go and interview most of them, maybe a got to jam la what you could put Medina Nguben, but actually in reality, if they are to come and see, they will really want to go to school because it's what their generation is doing. Yung hiranya low generation. In our mother generation, they were really empowered in their own way, in what was in their time, like farming or doing other thing to be strong women. Cuman yana to and war got na yiting lale mon ko ala bula urung di ka goro hoge dia ku jedi chata ba bitik pur ku je udi ku je nguloy. That was the empowerment at that time. Kwa to regardless of what when to je ka chiting ne chi jala don ngir. Kato because there's a way people nurture their women, right? And by the way, to be honest, like, okay, for me, I did not take this debate by the way serious because this debate, I think it's really fully ignorant, right? And maybe it was a joke because one of a lot of serious issues as then come because discuss our youth, but if people are trying to joke on that with all those points, keka gui, keka chelui, keka darut, keka rai, ke gurut, all those things, right? That was ego, by the way. That was ego, by the way. To say that. Chola kinyaro dinchi be ko ran the winner be thinking no pia then kunyarot. That was the ego done by our brothers, but some that have educated sisters, educated aunties. And to again say here, some of us that have got a privilege by the way, an opportunity to go to school and learn, to be able to support yourself, to fit in the world right now, and be able to support yourself financially, a privilege other that we feel like other sisters are missing out. And I know they wish they had the chance that we have in Kabalwil. And again, for me, I don't know, let me say my view. But to pay some rice. We don't go to school and to feed. If they can marry our sisters when they are not going to school, why? You go to school to get men. We are we like we got the chance and feel happy like this what world is doing to be able to support yourself financially. So it's about finances. By like you be dependent to have something. Like if you're my child, at some point it's good to be someone who have it. Even I teach coin pandu around which hematon we have other people that will need your support because they are privileged to get it. I try to feed like why material and all those things. I think that is what we can at some point I see Louis afraid. Again, to say it to say it again, we were seeing these things, people, and okay, I cannot say that I know they are getting Louis post where again is and all those things. Most of us, me when I was replying, I was just trying to reply to what men at some point. Because I think it's something, it's something serious, a joke, in a joking way, because those people that were making noise, can you they know in the villages right now, and for divorce cases, if you go to the court, the divorce cases, we have uneducated women and educated women divorcing their home, not only the educated one. Yes, so that one is there. So that is a joke, just a noise. I take it as a noise. And when to come again to Louis, that's when I took Louis school, because in school can be in pure by our feet to stand in this world, be pure in and they can wale hat. And I think started in this life, you gotta learn to work, to make money, to work, to eat, to do what. So there's nothing in school that you have decided to be lazy. And that cannot be associated with an educated woman. Never. Unless someone has decided not to work. Kubara on talk I find you chinga chola ngaya daro merga. It's a dog. That was the ngaya daro imam. So like what the hell is so let me say guys, what I just see here is that the people education, let me say, like education for women to be independent and have money kiti let me say not all the men I insecure baby. You feel like now this lady has also, because let me say in the old days what men want, even tinge marire ye kor that credit be. So, and that's the problem now. Has taking our credit as me, I don't get surprised because that is a shame. It was not there. So, because now credit do anything in educated woman, it goes to you, not to your man. Maybe what you do or what and all those things. That is cultural transition when I just look into that. So the point is that we don't go to school to get men. Never. Because if our uneducated sisters are getting men, why can't we get them? Now, Lui, they are not concerned with education. Now, on the other get a so young can be a school. Again, the brother that I always, even by the way, this is something that we just always see every day. Even when for those that have, for us that have gone to campuses, and mostly in Louis study in the university that you are not at home, right? The way brothers are mingling with Nirkudur, but we don't talk about that, right? And if na thinking actually maybe actually good actually buy all those things and going with Nirkudur, then they will not say that Niragui. What about you guys? What are you doing? What are you doing? And again, when it come to let me say those girls that are saying is spoiled, most of you are the one been spoiling them. You are lying to them that I will marry you, let's continue, let's do this, then at the end you don't marry them. All of you were spoiling each other. But I understand because community at work I can and count on us bad people doing that. Even they don't count them. That has been there, by the way. You think Bible even chane dam kin moy ku cho mo jajel ku yen ke ko rubio. This is not a surprise. This is the community that we are in, that kang tau ke ko, of which we are not surprised. Something that no more we should live with. And abi near that thing be na Louis experiment a specimen how will I call it. Then they go and say that, but the fact remains Tom Chen Tom in the villages that tiut or something like that. And again, this one it is about the cultural reality whereby most men don't want women to be up or in their labor or doing something good and better thing, and we understand that has been the culture, and we are trying to we shall move on, by the way. We shall move on, and later take your respect baran barrio. And I think as an educated person, baran de barrio ke chan Iran one of the thing ache ye yige lo that leave the respect of which you know research alo you know di chalo but research ke ran ke to ke ran one of the values that every educated person has, right? So now let then in marriage, by marriage, I will not talk about marriage. Marriage is a personal thing, a unique thing, whereby people choose their partners based on what they see is good for them. Either when on the same goal, the same value, when on open. But that educated girl, they don't go to school to be married or to be like be a wife material. Every girl that need to marry Nata if you meet DIY material and will have to marry someone that they have the same values and point together. So for me, I just see this thing as thing to do with cultural believe because ek man de chen wala akai rej bika bear akai rej bika loya de akai rej bika loya de ben all those things on teri chi tani gen ting rej on be no nyare on be chi tawan teri rob government on no nyare bika rob gole kule I don't see things as about that by the way because all these things has been there on there e bi ja no ku je jori e kuleri in barake rej ake to ke rej so it is not now the thing is that most men fear women big Louis survive kitchen support there be men
Mhm.
like to give it makes some people like they feel insecure kulachi you think because kala ga ruri ade no mo ni rota pin mane mo ni because no ko no mo ni hali no ngin that is human nature by the way nature honestly nature kaya ting man anong ruri bahin ni kumni mali ka kon that is because it's about you. It is about you. So yeah, you are trying to do what is needful at that time. So now they bring that thing here and I think to no okay. So now but we they get like this kind of method and never you. And I don't see that. I don't see that kind like because in respect and all those things. It is different by them because you might respect someone and you always sit down and talk about things that really matters in your family. Marriage thing people have their own problem, they have in their marriages and how they solve them. But this issue of turning people against each other, for me, I see our sisters that are not educated have not got the chance. Because they don't have the chance. A privilege, by the way, privilege to have that chance and you study. And it is not about marriage, about how someone can be financially okay and fit in this world. So I don't see that. And all of us are very important and unique in our own way because I always say if you have not got the chance to study, maybe to get a degree will make you fit, maybe to get a job. At any end of them, you can still be financially okay without even acquiring that paper, right? In your own way. So the point and the umbrella is empowerment in anything that you have and how you can manage it. So the summary that because for me, I think a culture of fighting, and I see this thing as the change, and at the end we shall move on and see what is really good for us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So I think get respect, yeah.
Thank you. And I see people are joining again. We are now more at 30. Around 5 years, Sukran could do a cultural shock debate, and that's why we are putting into perspective. And I just want to emphasize, Kichi Dorcas well, that really for it, this is not, sometimes it'll be that near are defensive. They are jealous. Near can pay no near can pay who might think that by near debating this is because they think they are better than them. Chidor actually human being, actually human better human, but we are all human beings, and as Dorcas say, a privilege for those who are educated to be in this position because majority of people back home in the villages would prefer bigger PA themselves that they don't have means, they don't have option. And when someone to PA Ben, they love it and they are good. But it's mobility no cake. Many new villages right now are PA because they want bigger Ben, Gale, bigger Ben now. When there's crisis in our villages because na bo mo ni pa ni jeng go we bo mo ni Madina Juba ku Keneria ke yi lo no mo ni Juba ku an mo duni go ken in the cattle camp. So that issue is there everywhere. And so the fact is, it's not about women to pay, women can pay. When our women can pay are winning, because we are winning also as women. So that's how we should see. When you want to pay, then are winning in different space, can you they should be proud that near can to school they are winning and they are fighting on their behalf that they might inspire and being more role model to their children. So we want this conversation actually look at it say it from the beginning. It has nothing to do with women versus women. It was a woman who was asking, woman who's a leader, like a woman leader, asking a community, asking men who are educated, who are young and work mira kai kon, the PA can work and work a one, we are to get that perspective. So that was the goal. Rora have shared the reasons. We have heard you, and there's nothing that we can do. So I just want to bring this back. What you close? Maybe in Alakir, maybe in Kabila, your last statement. What do you make sense of all this together, and what is your U-turn message on this? Bajara Macho, then we'll go. All of us will share our last message, and then Bushoda close. And if you are watching, you can share your U-turn message. What is the way forward? Now, we just discuss so what? What is next? What do you think we should be focusing on? Take it away, Alakir.
I don't know. I think the homework is now on men to try and actually process what is going on. It's a big shock for you to learn that the system is changing and you need to change with it. Why I say the system is changing is because from education from the get-go actually teaches both men and women are equal. Being a man doesn't make you any better than being a woman. And we go to class and we do 1 plus 1 is 2. We all do 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, the women that have gone to school are experiencing shock in this way. When you go to classroom, you are equally treated with the men, with the boys, whatever. You see men teaching, women also teach, and then you step back in the household, and suddenly everything is different. You are expected to be somebody completely different than who you were in the classroom, right? You're not equal to the man. You have to do a lot of labor, physical labor, to make sure this relationship works, because ultimately if it fail, you it take a window. And we see this a lot in different ways. Now you have the same skills, cultural expectations are nothing but made up roles such as cooking, blah blah blah. And lose a little bit of weight, and people notice. The society will say, "This woman thinking a young much. Like, why is he very very thin? Because I can when he might very well just ask for more food or even go in the kitchen because she's not a woman that is staying at home full time. She also goes to work, right? So I know it's difficult to cope with the reality that we need to be equal, and that equality need to be brought in the house, right? It doesn't have to be left at the door. This is an issue women and men are dealing with, not just in South Sudan or in a specific particular tribe. It's global, including Kawajar or whoever. And if you want to expand it's always good to zoom out and see how things are playing out in real time elsewhere. We have this example of 4B movement in Korea, where women are refusing to marry because the responsibility of marriage fall a lot on them, and they are like, you know what, we're not doing this. And they said, yeah, which I'm thinking the South Sudanese women are underreacting to what is going on, right? How much responsibility and expectation is put on them by society, which is solely to the benefit of men and comfort. Now, if the new system is introducing discomfort, it shouldn't be like, should we go back? And let's be honest, the man that goes to marry a girl from the village, why does he come back to the town? Why don't you settle there in the village with your wife so they don't get affected by the town and the education and whatever? They even go and take them and put them to school, right? So that means education was not the problem to begin with. It's that equality and the fear of losing control of a woman that has independent thought, that find purpose elsewhere, that is not sole life purpose is to bear children and stay at home and be a good wife, and then to fulfill themselves, right? So it's gonna be on them. If you want to be lazy and just go and marry Nyan Pani Jiang, you still have to do the work of educating them, because your kids will grow up in a system that require that education. You also have to recognize the cost of living is going up, and you both have to go to work. And we've seen it. Maybe US, they have to make sure they are educated so they can go and take and bring income to the household, right? So you can't turn around and say, oh, the women that are educated are not good wife material, but you go and pick up the wife material, introduce them to the new ideas of education, of new life, and other things. So all I'm saying is, man, be for real, right? If you choose something, commit. Kobayara and Panajing, in Jala town, since women are not good in town, and stay Panajing, right? Don't be mixing and confusing us, is what I'm going to say. So thank you.
Don't be mixing and confusing. Choose your battle and fight it with all your teeth and might. Luca, what do you think? What is your summary and the way forward from this discussion? How should men think about this? How should women think about this? How should society even think about this?
Okay, thank you, Madam Kwal Philip, and also Shol Mayola Falazalakir. As we are almost to close this chapter, I think it is good when there is something bad which is going on in the society to be discussed, so that it should not remain like that, as it is something which is not nobody put much attention in it. But to my own understanding or my own perspective, based on this topic, I have made it clear before in the first place that the question was about us, me. We were the one asked that question. But since our ladies took it in that way to discuss it about the educated women and uneducated one, I think they are the one who want to push this debate to become a hot debate, and it is not good. When you have to understand what where the question came from and what was the question all about. Even to me, when I got the debate, I first analyze and go for analysis first before I put in my comment, because this woman was asking such a question. He want to raise the girl education. He want to raise the women empowerment. That's why he was asking such a question on us men. To my own understanding, it is not good that we should also be debating on it and make it as a very tough, like educated women are dangerous to the society or are here to change our cultures. No, none of them who is here to come and change the culture. If we are to give them chance and educate them very well and give them all the platform, that all the podium that they will share their views, I think they will not become a dangerous people to the society. Only that it become dangerous to according to our mindset when we take it as something very bad. Like if we educate, we will give a chance to educated ladies, they will change the cultures and this is our perspective. So when we put it in that way, it become a, like kalau orang biar kawan kiwa ni tiok kayen. Like it cannot we cannot change that one, because create ben everything can change based on your mindset first. Like na ilele ting jipyo gal ka be ba right pandia kayine chi bu kang ting jipyo kuna ilele ting jipyo kaman gal is she will come and change the society or the cultures ka ting jipyo by then achi look back pal pursa as a community or as a nation or as a state or a county or even a boomer to lead, because we are there that she will come and change everything. So to my own understanding, me personally, I think my U10 message to those who were debating on this topic, as ladies, you first don't put in your mind as something very big. Even like when Dorcas when I develop an abun, kubi bai bijin tiak na kila pana bun inji tiak ake yen kan wor nyan ke pyo ya ngor kela tiak pan monja. So this is clear. Kan ran yas pana bun wat beda kelo wat beda skill wat by well informed ko wat command ku ba ro lui develop. Kubena even if you can you will support, you can support yourself. He has made it clear. That's very important. But can a message le bagama yeten mostly to us men. A what could be educated women are respected with the abuse. Secondly, also educated women should put in their mind that marriage is different from education. Education na chola third day chola education. Kuchika tie kan da chin te chin pyo ko there is a man who is not even educated and want to marry you, and that man can be able to build up together with you. He has a vision that he want to follow. His own dream are aligned with your dream. You can accept and you stay together. I think it has no effect. I think right because it will not stop you from going to school. Yen already achira antika don't there. Again, mission the vision they take you align together with yours, and you see that person as your potential partner. You align together and you get married to him. I think I have a problem in there. But mostly, all educated ladies have to be respected. Kujana nyir ken pyo ya ale ka ya school ibida kan ka che duru rigal biya nyantin ko cho 20 years. Adult education is already there. Even me personally, I have we have opened that school 2011, and people who were in that adult education, they were from 20 and above, and some of them are now in university. Those who managed to follow their education, they are now in university. Quite the run back. So this is something very clear. Education apart. Akin del da che lai lo it den metin in which binya ko kan kani. Ko pal chiang education cho le bot cho ka pat ke tie ko chi tie ki lui mix ke education. No.
Wow. So definitely the way forward is let's separate education and marriage. And the question was not about women, it was about men decision making, why they leave educated women to go to villages. And the statistic has showed that uh, women don't marry down. So women, as you said, Luca, I don't think a PhD woman can marry a cattle camp person. It will not work that relationship. I am yet to see it, but a PhD, like formally educated person, is able to marry a woman. Can grade one get change. For those people who were
maybe the village celebrities can have a chance. You know, quite get a red or I will. There has to be something that make them stand out.
It has to be something that makes them stand out, and those people who need to have a confidence to even accommodate that educated woman. So we talk about education. We haven't talked about empowerment because you can be formally educated and unempowered, and you can be not formally educated into ABCD, but you are empowered. So we are talking about education, just formal education here on the U-turn. So thank you for that, Luca. That is a great advice and U-turn message that we should separate marriage and this. Chol Mayula, what is your summary?
Thank you. Summary dia ache better because first of all, waror pada chupie wal ken kupie married buranti anang nang ka yi ko kor. Someone may even find that nang in that daman terwa maybe in korwe rariet in kor ran mangeng koran jam and all these things were there in you don't just marry most of the time others but they really young hey what is lacking yung kor in that's why ngadi so So what is in ngadi in to nyande when get tiak. So but as we shifted town no mana achirane ba game nyane ngadi nga. So most of the time because what I watch so tingin ko ja ti man has shifted rogir yung way jabet yang now. So others are called financially stable, and that's why educated ladies are more advantageous nowadays. An advantage on the angles of finance and that's why even Kachalo find other men can are stable that they lack that financial stability. Kala bi nyir ka kala ga nyana tiakan. So ako kirwar ka. But all in all, education chiran manen is what I want to say. Mana da bi nyir pye chin na chiran manen bi nyir bi pye. We want all bi nyir bi real bi a ko pye ko be a part of the society. Chalwe wen nyir je pye ku ka ken a pye kwa ken bara re a pye kwa de ga to ke to society are welcome into decision making. Kake are considered to so to us ebu ting yung piat bunyai culture yung piat bu lebula bay bu diatim. This is how we can balance. But na chukulo we are work tamanda wala bunim real. We may be confused. Kanya ya ala kilwele. So wala bu are confused. But again, road, let me just say frankly, road doesn't really want to lose who they are. Who they are. But road, especially road young, they want be considered young. That identity could be jalga. Kwera loy ke in rola mi de tan work o chen wa jala to kul jala that one abile ramit you we ko je pye we nyir want to erase that but you we cannot tenga na biramid. So to me let's adjust puting ngubu nyai ko ngubu dia family remain the same. Into where nothing even kawaja even kawaja it remain the same. Anang lo media retiam I don't know, but it still remain that road. The moment in work on tea, what in and so it gives us upper hands of bujabamat, but most of the plans kinema after you contour so jabana la walk one but they can upper hand. Anang ben we jagir anyone to start okay, but as for now wa lugu da jazz yung bunya culture apia tiban empowerment tiban talwel ni amana yen we accept nowadays because this is one of the things to think a threat, and we can allow our women be are financially independent below to fully be and the angle or automatic. So but the rest of the things so this is the message. So educational we will impress all of us, boys, girls. I talk a lot to college. So, but we maintain that work, why young, why South Sudanese or whatever culture can I you move. Thank you so much.
Very clear and talk hallelujah in the comment section. We're copying him now. Chol Mayula Lui resonated with. Can identity can being conservative. So that is true. But yeah, I totally agree with you that the purpose of all this conversation is to really ground the debate that uh, it is not meant to discourage education. So we on the U10 platform, we are a champion of education for all genders, for both boys and girls. Are you bet out to the next level that why we actually advocate for empowerment, not just education, but using education as a tool to empower yourself so that when you get that education, you come out empowered, you can reason, you can access resources or economic, political, and social resources that can advance you personally and collectively, Kauai community. And so the fact that education they are actually being debated here is that, is it, are women getting the education and using education as an empowerment tool? Is it becoming disadvantageous to them? That is the question we usually talk here on the platform. What are women getting outside through education, and how does that impact, the culture and the identity or position that men want these women to be, right? It's very clear that there has to be a social order, and the current social order works in a patriarchy, that a woman can be very empowered, but when it comes to to how they relate with men, or even in different settings, but now in marriage, she should be a woman. What that means is, in this context, is patriarchy. She should you know adhere to the goal, the vision, the plan of that. So long as men are the one who approach women for marriage, they have the upper hand, right? They have the vision, the plan of how that marriage should be ordered, or should be, for it to be sustainable. And so it is easy if there are a lot of exposure that have been educated in cultural context to understand that assignment, that you take, now you defer to Kulwel Moindu. But Naira and the Chinombe back, who now has different ideas on how these things should work. Can live with that or that little question. I live with, no, we don't want to do that because I live because I felt this way or that way, or there are different angle thing in that situation, and that could bring problem. And that is the issue, that many men want to avoid conflicts. And so for women, when they are exposed to to fit in this cultural context, they should still get the education or go career big non well, or big independent, but use it with intention in marriage, which is okay. That is the message, Japing. Now, jala ben kind of personal, I'm not quite this formal education and Western education. I agree. A lot of curriculum you go queen from Rwanda Kenya until now, actually African or South Sudanese really informed. They are Western models, and the Western model of a patriarchal. I think they are the which are westernized. But who don't see that who are westernized, because some of the ideals ni bagalo wala an mon so do ni oran mon bor or an mon barkazal mon record. So sometimes if you look at it critically, that those are not your real idea correct there on in the 14th century. These are a of the 20th century, of 21st century. You are not, you look at the original Bargazal, you need to influenced by West. That same to me, and right now, to be honest, yes, I'm influenced because I took their education. So I'm traditional. Now look into our traditional African way of doing things, where we were real. Our society was egalitarian. Equal partners. Even the other, even this polygamy thing was controlled by women. Women were in thinking and with bananko or kor bananko, and that thing, respond to the thing. Can a man, can a muxuli? Tingami akor benong influence. So there were levels, of course, of influence. Which was actually a tool to Okay, I don't want to go deep, but if you go and study the history, actually they were the one who were making decisions. We were, ordering the society, and that's why a lot of societies they start our original lineage. They start with women, you know. They start with women. Even the Bible start, Jesus Christ started with women. There has to be Mary. So it used to be, but the Western model toward Tinmanti or European model toward Tinmanti came model to they nothing, or they are put in a certain corner to be below men. So what we are advocating here on the U-turn is that we don't say men should shrink. We don't say women should shrink. We say empowerment should give us all the tools to be equal people, to contribute to greater good of our families, of our society. Getting ran when because if ran to collective progress, we have to be very empowered. So let's always examine, this culture thing. That's my U-turn message. It's not women get westernized, westernized. The view you look a woman have beautiful west because pan west walked in. Even right now, take erin go una ga pon a ti aka ka chormuch. Our culture to take ana kwal in jian culture, suppose barin che murin che. En pan tin hati aktina bala che mit che rin ke panda. So we were equal. But now pan ga jamandi and chol Miss Malwach, like Mrs. Malwach. I come and change my last name to Rin Gamondia. Right? Last name Mondia Babylon. That is actually patriarchy of highest order. Why do I change my last name? I should so let's say let's stick to our culture then. One young of our community, of our African, that is equal, that respect women, that value women, that value men, and community will progress collectively. And my last word. Let's this conversation to educate us, not to be a debate of competition of who is better and who's not better. All women are better, all men are better. That would be my last conversation, my last point on this. If na chira and no any thought, can be show that here. If na no ran on kitchen ben be no, I can live with the end. But I'm to talk. Are we okay? Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You turn awesome. If you were contributed walk until the end, God be with you. Put your comment here. Let us know what you think. You'll know we're doing the budget. Okay.
As we come to the end of this conversation, I just want to take a moment to remind you that the growth doesn't happen without taking a new direction. So if there is a message that has given you some clarity, some courage, or even a little bit of push towards the positive direction, I want you to take that with you, sit with it, go offline with it, and encourage you to continue to invest in your personal growth and say thank you for taking the time to be here for yourself and for the community, for the growth of the community. The U-Turn is not just a show. It's a community where real talk, real growth, and real U-Turn happens. So until next time, stay empowered, stay intentional, and never be afraid to make a U-Turn. Thanks. Bye.